Guys, today I want to talk about expat startup money. We talk about this in the past quite a lot, but I want to talk about it a little bit more because a lot of people are coming over here and they're underfunded. Okay, and I heard from a guy the other day. He says, well, I thought I only needed like $1,000 to $2,000 for startup. And I'm like, hey, it's going to cost you $100 plus first and last and security. So it's going to cost you like $300 if you get like a studio apartment or a one bedroom or whatever over here. That's what it's going to cost you for for that alone. And then it's probably not going to be furnished unless you get very lucky. There's not too many furnished places, and furnished here is not like furnished back home. Furnished here means furnished, no refrigerator, no stove. So you still have to get stuff. Okay, there's still things that are needed. Some furnished apartments have AC, others don't. Okay, when you're here, you're going to need furniture. In most places, that means you're going to need a bed. You're going to need a mattress. And a lot of guys that come here, the first time they land someplace, they say, well, I don't want to dive in wholeheartedly and buy all the furniture and stuff now because maybe I'm going to move later. And that's very, very true. So you may want to get an Airbnb in the beginning to get a taste of the area that you're going to. See if you like it. Or possibly rent for those 3 months and then be ready to move if you can find a furnished place. But will you find a furnished place? That's the question. Some places it's getting harder and harder to find. So, but as far as a startup fund though, you really need to have. I tell people, come over here with like about $9,000 if you're coming here to live. And I'm not telling you to carry that on your person all the time. Either get a safe deposit box or open up an account over here after a while and then put it in the bank. Or make sure you have access to it back home that you can get it over here pretty easily. You don't have to carry it on your person. There's other ways to do that, but at least have that available to you at any given time so you can have it for emergencies or whatever. And you should have a bigger emergency fund than that. That's not your emergency fund, that's your startup fund. You're gonna need things like forks, knives, plates, food to fill your refrigerator, coffee, milk, canned goods, rice. You may need some sheets and blankets. All this stuff is stuff that you're going to need over here. You need it it's part of your startup. Air conditioning. Most people want to have good air conditioning over here. You got to have this stuff to survive. Air conditioning is almost like mandatory here. If you don't have any air conditioning over here, it sucks. Look at this thing I got around my neck. I have this to walk through the park to keep me cool, because it's hot. Look at my shirt. I'm soaking wet with sweat. And today's a cool day, During the dry season, the humidity kind of goes away and it's easier on your life to walk around. But on a hot day like today here, where it's humid and we're in the rainy season, it gets sticky. It's sticky over here. And it's not fun being sticky all day, My girlfriend, she doesn't like traveling on buses. She says it gives her motion sickness and stuff. She doesn't like it when she travels. And I like traveling on the bus because of the AC or the shuttle vans or whatever, because of the AC, and she doesn't. So it's like one way or the other, you're going to suffer. So you might want to have one of these too. Buy one of these here when you're over here. There's different types, and you're gonna want to have money, and you're going to need a nice backpack over here, a small backpack to carry your stuff. Wear it in your front, on your chest, so you know where it is, so you can grab it quicker. You're gonna need to buy this stuff when you're over here. Battery packs, have a nice phone. That's all part of your startup. A good, comfortable hat, nice, cool T-shirts or sleeveless T-shirts or whatever. That's what you need over here. You need stuff like that to keep you cool. You need that emergency fund too on top of that. But your startup fund is key. Now, can you come over here and can you get started with $2,000? This is one of the questions that was asked me. And yes, you can, but you're not going to be really happy with what you have. You're going to live small, minimalist, extreme minimalist with the $2,000 probably. You might not be able to get the AC. You might be able to get a small refrigerator, and you're going to need a bed and all that. Could you do it for $2,000? Yes, you can. you're gonna have to be a pretty slow spender. Go slow, go easy, watch your spending, pick out what you need on a piece of paper and say, this is what I need, this is what I'm gonna get, and that's it. And then shop around for it and get the cheapest prices. Beds can be had at most places that do furniture making fairly cheap. Get the one with the 2 drawers underneath, and then you got a little bit of storage space to boot. Mattresses, they're fairly cheap. The thinner the mattress, the cheaper it's going to be. So that's what you want to shop for. Shop around, go to different stores. Don't let people give you a higher price. See if you can negotiate. See if you can negotiate your rents. Some people, when you walk in to rent, and it's only a few people that do this, and they give the other Filipinos a bad name, is they go up on the rents, like they'll double the rents when they see an American coming. Just don't let people do that to you. You know, don't let people do that to you, because it's wrong. You know, find out what the prices really are. Send a Filipino in there, and if they try to change the price, say, well, then no, I'm not going to rent it then. Say, you know, I'm willing to pay a fair price and the same rent as a Filipino, but I'm not going to pay more because of my skin color or I'm American and I get a little bit more money in my pocket. I'll pay what a Filipino pays. And if you guys want to go up on that, then I'm just going to move out. So then you lose a good renter. You know, so it's your choice. You know, you want to have a good renter, or do you want to have, you know, somebody that comes in and a month later they can't pay you? Because that's what happens with a lot of these people. A lot of people here, they're always late on their rent because they're poor. They don't have a lot of money. I mean, a lot of people think that the people here can afford their rents and stuff. They really can't. And that's the first place that they usually stop paying, because they want to feed their family first. You know, and make sure that you don't run into that. Make sure you have the startup. Make sure you have the funding to come over here and you have all that ready. And guys, make sure you understand that there could be fees over here. You might need to go to the doctor. You might need things like that done. You might need medicine. A lot of you guys are not figuring this stuff into your expat budgets. Put it in there, because guess what? Some of the insurances over here don't have, they don't pay for your medicines and stuff like that. So you also want to check to see it on that. And a lot of guys are saying, well, I can cover all my medical and stuff like that on my $1,200 a month or my $1,100 a month. No, you probably won't be able to. You have one good hit on medical and you're going to get slammed. You know, I was talking to a guy the other day and he was telling me how he had $7,000 in medical costs or $8,000 in medical costs for something fairly minor up in Manila. Now, granted, he did go to a good hospital, okay, so that was part of it. But he had that. Now, that's part of your emergency fund. That's not your startup fund. But, I mean, if you come over here, when you first get over here, believe it or not, you get sicker because you're getting used to bacterias. You get more stomach problems, stomach issues, like I did when I first come over here. Now I get kind of like a cast iron stomach because I'm kind of used to the foods and I'm used to the bacteria and I'm used to things over here. And you will too, but you got to give it a chance. It took me a year or more to get used to that, to get used to the foods, to get used to having stomach issues. Imodium is going to be your best friend. And that's another thing you're going to have to buy with some of your startup money, is a good box of Imodium so that you have it available. And put that in your backpack, you know, and carry some wet wipes and stuff so you can wipe yourself when you're really hot, or a dry towel or whatever. These are the things that you're going to need on your startup. And there's many other things I'm forgetting on here that maybe some of the other guys would like to add on here or whatever. But I want to throw that out there. And if you're gonna get a bigger house, or you're gonna move into a gated community where it's a lot more expensive, make sure you have a lot more. Make sure you have a lot more, and make sure you have a good income too. And then sometimes there's HOA fees, etc., like things like that. Figure that into your budget, because also electricity, you know, all this stuff has to be figured in. A lot of you guys are coming over here and you're under budgeting, and I got people that keep telling me, Steve, I can come over here, I can live on 400 or 450 or 600 or 700. I know how to do it. I lived over there 10 years ago, you know, and I was living on that amount of money. I'm like, buddy, you can't live like that over here anymore, and you're gonna live like a homeless guy. But a lot of people don't get it. But anyway, guys, God bless. Take care.